and then let them go and then come back to Coach for some more questions. So, Dan, welcome back to Louisville.
Well, it's good to be back here, and we appreciate the hospitality of the city. I just got a gift of a really cool Louisville Slugger bat that I think will probably be in my office forever. We had a good practice today, and we're glad to be done with finals and able to fully focus on a really tough match coming up.
Okay, thanks. Let's do some questions for the Pitt student athletes.
Olivia, could you speak about your serve? We've been seeing your serve got more dominant over the last couple of years. Can you take us through that process?
Yeah, I feel like we definitely focus on serving a lot in our gym. So it's just about creating good habits. A topspin serve is definitely one that you can't expect to have a perfect, scenario every single time. The toss might be a bit off. So just stuff like that, we really work on just focusing on hand contact. And I feel like just working on that has helped me find more success in being consistent, just knowing that it's not going to be perfect every time, but I know how to adjust to situations like that.
Thanks. Right side.
The players, Rick Bozich from WDRB in Louisville. You guys have played Louisville 2 or 3 times every year. Usually one team wins one match, the other team wins 2 of them. How do you characterize the rivalry with them over the years when you think about playing against them?
Rachel, can you start with that one, please?
Well, let's just start by saying we're very fortunate to play them so many times throughout the year. We have immense respect for them, for the coaching staff, all the players. And I just think we make them better, they make us better. So the opportunity of playing them multiple times in one season is good preparation for big moments like this.
I would also say it's nice that we're here and we've played against them 3 weeks ago in this arena. So it's nice and we have the opportunity to just kind of play them again in this big stage. But we've been here before. It's our second home.
Rachel, this is your 4th Final Four. How do you think you've matured from each appearance, making it this far, and how do you think you've grown each time, learning what you need to do and prepare for this matchup?
Yeah, well, as a player, I think I've gotten better. Thanks. Yeah, I think I've just, my toolkit has gotten better, and along with that, just every single year adds a year of experience under my belt. I think me, along with the older players on the team, are used to high-pressure situations like this. Pressure is a privilege, so we love being in situations like this, and we're more prepared, we're ready.
For all of the players, do you subscribe to the theory that you often hear, a cliche, that it's hard to beat a team a 3rd time? And if not, what advantage do you see going into this match based on your previous success?
Yeah. Do I subscribe to that? I think that it's hard to beat Louisville, period. They're a good team. They know us, and we know them. So I feel like I said before, I feel like we have an advantage of being able to play in this arena 3 weeks ago and coming out on top. So I feel like it's really up to just having fun and competing. And I feel like when we have fun and compete, we can win everything.
Olivia?
Yeah, just overall, you hear that phrase all the time, but when thinking back on our conference, I feel like we have a really extremely hard conference. And at the end of the day, it's hard to streak wins in general. And I feel like we've just played a lot of hard games back to back. So, yeah, it's the same team, but I think we know this team, and we know that our best is really good, so we're just going to compete. We know they're going to bring their best. We know we're going to bring our best, and just going to make the little plays separate us. So, yeah.
Rach?
Yeah, they said it well. It's hard to beat a team once. It's hard to beat a team twice.
That's good.
Thank you. Next question is on the left side, back row.
Okay, so with every team in this Final Four being number 1 seeds, is there an added pressure knowing that it's just a top competition, and even though it should be the top competition every time?
you kind of answered it, how I would answer it. I mean, the top competition is going to be in the Final Four every year. So even if it were a 2 seed, I think we'd still feel the same amount of pressure. Yeah.
Yeah, any team at this point in the tournament is going to be a contender for the national championship. So for sure, yeah.
All right.
Speaking of the pressure you have, do you feel like you guys have, since you're the #1 overall seed, but you're playing Louisville, who's hosting it, do you feel like you guys maybe have a little bit less pressure on yourselves because you're playing basically a road game?
Rachel,
You said Rachel?
please. Yes.
Yeah, it's nice that we've had the opportunity of playing here and against a team that we know. There's perks and like challenges to playing a team that we're so used to, but yeah, any team we're gonna prepare for the same and lay it all out on the court. So.
Yeah. Tyler.
Hey, Tyler Griever from WDRB. I know it hasn't been that long since you guys played each other, but a lot can change in just a few weeks. How do you think Louisville looks different, and how do you think you guys are different from the last time you saw each other?
Olivia?
Yeah, I feel like ever since the last time we played each other, I mean, it's just been a bunch of tournament games, so we've all played a lot of really hard competition. So, and you know, we always talk about the idea of streaking, and technically to get here, you have to be streaking wins. So it seems like both of us are at the peak of our game, which I think is just going to be fun. Just I feel like all the little things are clicking for both teams, and yeah, I think it's just going to be a really hard match because we're both at the best at this point. So.
I think we had another question on the aisle still here. Yeah, in the second row there. Then we'll come to the front.
I assume you know that 2 hours ago you were all named first-team All-Americans. How do you explain the success of this program, kind of breaking into the elite in recent years, and what drew you to Pittsburgh?
No, but it truly is, and like attributed to all of Fischer's hard work, all the coaching staff, and then the players that came before us. I mean, he's truly built a legacy at Pitt, just every single year getting better and better and better. And the players that go through the program just like set the tone for the incoming people, and it's just like a cycle of wanting to get better.
I would also add that I've been saying this, but I feel like we all feel like that we're not really just playing for ourselves, but like also for like the people that laid the foundation for this program. And like this is not only for like us, the seniors, the previous student athletes that went to Pitt too. So.
This is for Olivia and Tori. Obviously, last year was your first time making it to the Final Four. Now you're back. I mean, what is the difference in your mentality coming into this year, and how do you think you guys have? I get like the question I asked Rachel. Have you grown from that experience and coming into this matchup against Louisville tomorrow night?
I feel like the difference between last year and this year, I mean, last year everyone tries to prepare you for it, but when you actually get there, you're still overwhelmed. You still don't. It's all still new to you, so you're kind of distracted by all the outside noise. But I feel like this year we've really worked on just channeling it in, staying in our 3-foot world, and I feel like that's helped us have success. I mean, at this point we're no longer new to this, so we kind of we know how all of the outside noise is going to go. So I think it's going to make it a lot easier to focus on just our team and our goal right now.
Yeah, we're not new to this. We're true to this. Shut up. But no, I would say that we've just had the experience from last year, so we know what to expect. And I think Liv said it best, we stay focused to our 3-foot world, and it's just us on the court playing together and playing for each other.
Left side, middle aisle.
How do you guys handle all the pressure with schoolwork, practice, travel, and being a student athlete? What is that pressure?
Rachel?
It's a lot. It's a lot to handle, but I think we have very nice, we're fortunate to have good resources at Pitt that help us through everything, and then good mentors that show us the way. I mean, just prioritizing, making sure your priorities are in a line, and just time management. But this year, it's very nice. We are done with finals, so now we only get to focus on volleyball.
Previous years, people were taking finals during this time, we're running to take a final, so we're glad that we got everything out of the way before we came here.
Do you guys feel like having a fast start for this game is a little bit more important since you're playing basically a road game in this, just to like quiet the crowd?
We always talk about starting fast. Like that's one of our keys. We have like so many themes, but I feel like that's one that we try to accomplish each match. So starting fast is big, but I would agree that like if you do start fast in like an away arena, then it does quiet the crowd.
Time for one more for the student athletes.
I guess it's for any player. I mean, obviously, you guys have played DeBeer and Looper so much over these past 2 seasons. What makes them such tough pin hitters to defend against? And I guess, yeah, that was my question.
Olivia, can you go first?
Yeah, I can. I mean, they're just great players at a great program. It's very clear that they're people that their team relies on. And I mean, naturally, they're practicing every single day. They're getting better every single day. And, well, it's just very clear that, especially playing us, just brings out the best in them. So, I mean, they're definitely tough to defend and definitely a focus of ours. But I also feel like playing them brings out the best in us. So, like, we know that whatever they're, coming at us with, we're coming right back at them. So, yeah.
Anything else? Are we good? You guys good? All right. Thanks to the Pittsburgh student athletes. Let them get out, and then we'll have questions for you, Coach. Just you. You were funny because you just kept looking at her. You just kept looking at her saying, Rachel? That's pretty good. That was good. Thank you. All right, questions for Coach Fischer. Start here in the third row on the right side.
Yeah, I'll ask the same question I asked the players. They mentioned that Louisville brings out the best in you and you bring out the best in them. How would you characterize the rivalry, considering how often you guys have played over the last few years?
From my end, it's nothing but respect. And I do agree that, playing against great teams makes you better and exposes you for stuff you don't see in your own practice gym or when you're playing a weaker opponent. And so, even though we've won both games, there's been things we've learned from those that really they made us uncomfortable in certain areas. So I think I think the rivalry is probably a little bit more for the fans, but the competition has definitely made us both better.
Dan, Breeze had pretty solid performances against Louisville in both her appearances this season. What's allowed her to excel against your biggest rival and in some of the most important matches of the season?
Yeah, Bree has been so consistent this year against everyone. She seems to always hit 500 no matter who we're playing, and so I don't know that it's just Louisville, but she has a tendency to get pumped up for big games.
Okay.
Olivia has 45 kills in the 2 matches against U of L. And I'm wondering if you can give us any sense of how their approach to her has changed over the season, maybe over the years, and what you expect tomorrow.
I don't know how anyone approaches Olivia. She's a dominant attacker, and they're certainly going to know that she's going to get a lot of attempts. But there have been games over the last 2 years where we set Tori a lot of balls, so, I think they know that Olivia is going to get her attempts, but depending on game flow, it might go, a little bit more to some other players.
Coach, when you're scouting Louisville, how do you not overdo it when you're scouting? Because you've seen them so much, you know what they're going to bring, and not read into something they've done well once, but not every time you've played them.
Yeah, I'm trying to find that balance as a coach, because when you overdo it, sometimes the athletes are trying to play a scouting report on the court, and we want them on the court, playing the percentages, but trusting what they're seeing. So I think probably uncharacteristically, early this week, we didn't watch any Louisville video. We just worked on some things we wanted to work on.
Okay, back row on the right side.
Hey, Coach. I want to talk about Tori and Olivia's friendship. When you first recruited them, they played for Sunshine together. I'm curious, what made you want to recruit them together? It's very rare that two people that play in the same club come to the same team in D1.
Well, this was right when COVID lifted and we were able to go out and recruit, and I had seen video of Tori, and I went to a showcase to watch her, and then I saw this girl, Olivia, who was very raw at the time, but her head was above the net, and I just kind of kept wondering who this girl was that no one was talking about, and so I saw them both for the first time live at the same showcase, and I called, and I have a tendency to, it takes me a long time to make decisions recruiting, and it drives my staff crazy, but I'd call them all up, and so these two girls are 100% yeses. Like, I just, from the moment I saw them both, I was convinced. Does that answer your question, or was there a second part? Well, there is certainly the physical characteristics, but I think they both played with, especially Tori at that moment. Tori really is a joyful player. Like she has a spirit about her on the court that really, is for me really attractive. It's rare that you see someone that's a really joyful player.
Dan, for you as well, this is your fourth straight Final Four. I mean, what about you? Like, in terms of your mindset, what's it been like this week for you? Is it just business as usual, or is there anything different than maybe in past years?
Well, it's never business as usual when there's so much going on. I think I had to pack about 7 different outfits, and the portal open, they're finishing finals, so it's not your normal schedule, but it certainly helps to have gone through it before. And I think my main mindset is, which isn't abnormal, but is really just to what we preach to the players, so that just myself and my coaches are peaking at game time, that we're saving our best energy for then.
Dan, hey, Todd Graver from WDRB. Through all the meetings with Louisville, is there a characteristic you pull from those matches that just comes through again and again? I mean, you guys have gone 5 sets up the whole length through it so many times.
I think the two things that jump out is both teams like to just take big rips. I don't think either team tips a ton, and then probably just the toughness. I think there's been multiple games over the years where maybe one team thought it was over and it wasn't.
Okay, we're still staying on the right aisle here.
What should we make of the presence of all 4 number 1 seeds here? Is there a gap between these teams and the rest of the NCAA?
Yeah, probably, but it's a really small gap. I mean, I think, we found ourselves in a 5-setter with Oregon. Louisville had some, close one with Northern Iowa. I think there is a gap, but it's small.
Left side, Coach.
The last time a Cardinal had 20 kills, just in general this season, was against you guys. It was Anna. How do you limit her impact on the court and make sure that she doesn't repeat the performance?
I wish I knew. Yeah, I think that's the key word is slowing her down, right? Just limiting. She has some tendencies, but what makes her great is even if there's a well-formed block, she can still find a way off a lot of times, as can our players. So, when you're playing against a good player, it's just pressure over time. A good block, a good defense over time was wearing her down.
Does rehearsal look any different tomorrow than it has over the past many weeks?
Potentially, we sometimes we'll do a session with our sports psychologist tonight. So if there's a theme in there that we want to that resonates, we'll probably include that.
Anything else for Coach? All right, then.
Thank
Dan,
you.
thanks for your time. Good luck.